my top 10 Elder Dragons video, I had talked about how I had never fought Dire Miraalis before, and that as soon as I got the chance to fight it, that I would make a video talking about my experience with it, and if I liked it or not. Well, I finally got to fight it with you guys on a live stream, and let me just say, I loved it. Let me tell you why. For anyone who doesn't know, Dire Miraalis comes from Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and is equivalent to the final boss of the game. The fight is a hybrid of an underwater and land fight, and it uses the fire element. It can make it rain down meteors from its back, and spit out fireballs from its mouth, as well as slam down its tail, body, and even walking forward. Yeah, this is one of those Elder Dragons where its walk can hurt you. Also, this Elder Dragon hits pretty hard. However, to make up for this, it has some pretty obvious weak spots. Dire Miraalis has some glowing orbs on its tail and chest. Those are the best spots to hit it while it's underwater. Once it gets on land, however, you'll need to hit its legs and tail as much as you can. If you manage to get it to fall, I would recommend that you go for the head and try to hit it as many times as possible. Also, the arena has two Dragonators that you can use. One is underwater and the other one is on land. I would recommend using the Dragonator as many times as possible because that does a great deal of damage and it lays on the ground so you can get some free hits on it. Once you manage to take down this beast, you are able to make some pretty great armor as well as weapons from it. Its armor has the ability Attack Up Large, Latent Power +1, Rock Steady, and Short Sprinter. And its weapons have the fire elements and they look pretty amazing. Okay, so now that I've briefly summarized Dire Miraalis, I can talk about my opinion on the fight. As I said earlier, I think the Dire Miraalis fight is one of the best fights in Monster Hunter. As I've stated many times, I really enjoy the underwater fights in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and the fight with Dire Miraalis brings a good name to those type of fights, because the underwater portion of this fight best represents how good the underwater fights can be. Since the monster doesn't swim around at the speed of light, you don't have to constantly move the camera around, like you do with some other monsters. I know that's a common complaint about the underwater fights, but it is not present in this fight. Also, it has a very bad design. It has volcanoes on its back that spit out fireballs. That is so cool. It also looks like another Elder Dragon that I really like. Wait a second, the name Dire Miraalis sounds familiar to me. Miralis. Does that name sound familiar to you? Well, it should, because Dire Miraalis is a relative of Fatalis. That alone could make this Elder Dragon one of my favorites. I didn't notice that until people in my live stream told me about it. So you're probably wondering at this point, if I was to remake my top 10 Elder Dragons video, where would I put Dire Miraalis? Well, I would put it at the number 3 spot. It's a very fun Elder Dragon that brings a good name to the swimming mechanic, as well as having a very different and fun fight compared to some of the other Elder Dragons. And it has a great design. I just can't put it in front of Shah Dalamador and White Fatalis just yet because I haven't fought Dire Miraalis enough times to even consider putting it above one of those two monsters. And plus, I still think the fight with White Fatalis is way more fun than Dire Miraalis because in my opinion, it is more of a challenge and it has a better appearance as well as a better fight. It is possible that Dire Miraalis could pass Shah Dalamador one day. Overall, Dire Miraalis was everything I wanted it to be and more. I hope that maybe one day, Dire Miraalis will return in a future Monster Hunter game. I guess only time will tell whether that happens or not. Now that I think about it, this video was like an informal episode of Know Your Bosses, which if you don't know what that is, it's where I go into great detail about some of my favorite and least favorite bosses from video games, and I talk about the detail behind them as well as the boss fight itself. Anyway, I really enjoy making videos like this one and like the Kieran rant that I made earlier, so I want to make more of them. And I actually have 3 monsters I would like to talk about, but you guys are going to get to choose what the monster is. The 3 monsters are the Gibble, Nibblesnarf, or the Great Jaggy. You guys vote in the comments below, or you can vote on my Twitter what you would like to see, which my Twitter, by the way, is RLVOfficial. You have 1 month to vote for the monster, which is plenty of time. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name's Ryan Kelly, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.